Cena.
Oh man, I really wish I had some kind of cool intro. Alright, well, anyways, as you probably guessed, this is Gambit Digital, and I'm bringing you part 2, which might not be as long as part 1, and, let's get right into it. So, when I left you off, I believe we had just put a lighten filter, or a lighten gradient map, on, this here, picture. As you can see, lighten 10%. The gradient map was white and orange. Could flip that and look like that, but anyways, that's not the point. Let's move on to the next step. So, as you can see here, we also had a lighten. It was the two main colors. Could reverse them, but I prefer having the lighter color in front because it just kind of gives a more monotone look to the whole piece. So the next step, well, actually I skipped this. One of the more important steps on this one. You want to go behind the player layer, but not the logo layer, and just whip out some brushes, some splatter brushes, burns, scorches, noise, whatever suits your fancy, and just do a tiny bit of brushing. I'd put a mask on it, and then just kind of mask over it in certain areas, and that'll get you that look you're starting to go for. And maybe, yeah, you could probably put it behind the logo. That might look better. So I skipped that important step on the last video. Make sure you do that. Well, it's obviously optional, just like everything, but I suggest it. Alright, so now that I got that out the way, this next step, you're going to take more splatter brushes, put them on overlay. I'd suggest decently high opacity. You can see this is what it looks like on 100, or you could put them on normal. I don't know, whatever you like. I personally prefer that they're not fully visible, so thus the overlay 70%. And just kind of form them around the player's shape. So I'm just gonna go look for some pretty solid splatter brushes, and just kind of put them on the fringes of Joe Hayden, and just kind of do that. I'll let you guys watch as I do this, so you can just kind of get an idea of where good placement might be. And here's a little pro tip for you guys. I guess it's pro. I'm not a pro, so I guess you could call it pro if you really want to. I would suggest always masking over erasing. It makes things a lot easier to undo if you make a big mistake. So don't erase, instead mask. That's my pro tip for today. So yeah, you can see I'm now going back and kind of masking with splatter brushes, I suggest, because it makes it more natural looking. As you can see, it still looks splattery even while you're getting rid of it. So I suggest masking with some splatter brushes. And just gonna finish this up here. See if this does anything. Yeah, so that's probably good. I'll let my computer catch up to itself. As you can see, it won't let me edit any settings due to a tad bit of lag I'm getting. Alright, looks like we're in the clear now. So I'd put it on overlay, about 70. And if you don't really like how it's looking color-wise, you can always press Control U. Again, Control U, Command if you're on a Mac. And should bring up a little dialogue here in a second. Not dialogue, little GUI. And I'm probably going to lower the saturation by 10 and the lightness by 5 and change the hue just a tad. So you can see that kind of changed that. And you can see the difference it makes in the picture here. You know, just kind of adds a bit more texture to it. Alright, my next layer. Oh, this is one of my favorites. Alright, well, I gotta make sure it is what I think it is. Okay, yep, soft brushes. I love these. You're gonna want to take a soft brush of a team color. For this, I might use brown, so we'll give that a whirl. It might not look great, but we'll cope with it. And then we'll get a little bit of orange. And smaller one. And basically just kind of brush around the player in good spots, you know, nothing too, it really doesn't matter if it's in an awkward spot or not. Now you're going to set this on screen, and you can see what that does. And on that one I reduced it to 30. I might bump it up just a tad on this one. I'll have it at 50, and I'll turn the layer on and off so you can see what that does. It just kind of adds a little extra lighting onto the player. Next, what did I do? I added noise brushes. So color dodge 50 is what I have them on. You know, I'm not really going to do this step on here, but noise brushes, just Google them. You'll find tons of them. They're very popular. Actually, I don't know if they're too popular, but they're popular in my books. I love these things. Probably my most used brush. But a little bit of lag. Computer's trying to catch up to itself again. Hey, you know what? Yeah, I'm just not even going to do this step, guys. I apologize, but, you know, we're running high on time. Or low on time. My bad. And I only got 2 more steps. I'm sure you guys can figure that out. Basically just paint noise on the player, and then set it to color dodge, and, you know, whatever opacity fits your needs. Next, and one of the most important steps, at least in my opinion, you want to get a little bit of a vignette, or vignette, I'm not exactly sure how to say it, or vignette, I don't know, but you want to get that kind of around the edges. You can do it either with a brush on soft light, or there's an actual filter you can go do. So I'm going to use the filter on this one just to kind of show you guys that, because I'm sure most of you could figure out how to do it with a brush. Maybe not all of you, but most of you. So you're going to want to go to lens correction under the filter tab, and custom, and you'll see the vignette area. You're going to want to drag that down. I'd put it around 30 some, and then drag the midpoint down a bit, and it's going to apply this, and then you'll be able to see what it does. Gets a little dark around the edges, as you can see. Most of you, I'm sure, know what a vignette is. So that's always a nice touch. And the last step, you guys probably never thought I'd get around to it. Trying to remember what the last step is. Oh, so I basically just edited the vignette a little bit by brushing some more darkness, and I set it to linear burn. That's all that was. Yeah, I just put splatter brushes around the edges. They're very faint. You probably can't see, but I put them on linear burn, 40%. So that's really how you do it. I would suggest finding a player that fits the logo. You know what I mean? Like, you can see how Stacy went really well for this piece. The motion he was in just goes together perfectly with the style. Whereas this one, not as much. So, you know, obviously be smart in your decisions and all that. Well, guys, that's about it. I really didn't show you too much in the second part, but I hope you guys have a great day, and thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more in the future.